Okay, welcome to video lesson 16.2. Your last lesson, you should have made a couple of figures front facing, a couple of figures sideways, and then in the second video of that lesson, we filled them in by putting some skin on them and covering them up and playing with the various body types and having more body mass and less body mass. And so today what we're going to do is you're going to use this sheet and you're going to practice drawing people at different ages. Okay, so let's see. Our other sheet, this one, we see that this is this person based on their head size is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 heads high. Okay. And we see over here that that's going to be an adult. So 7.5 to 8. Okay, now remember, everybody's a little different sizes. Some people are a lot bigger than others. But in generally, it's around this many heads high, 7.5. And you can also do 8 heads high too. And some of you may have noticed that some of your figures may have seemed a little bit tall. Just a half an inch will make a difference on this. So you can either do the 7.5 or you can do the full. They did this easy. Okay, they went ahead and didn't want to do fractions, so they just did 8 of them. Okay, so if you want to do 8 here instead of the 7.5, that's perfectly fine, no big deal. And then you can do this 7 and the 6. Maybe there's a little bit of difference here because of the height, the size of the head and everything. So then we have a little infant up here that's 4 heads high. Now what I want you to do with this, okay, I'm going to make this decently easy for you as well. You can, because you notice, because their heads are smaller, okay, and it gets a little bigger, the spaces are larger, okay? So like this space, it's getting smaller, and it's getting even smaller because of the size of the head. So what you can do here is you can either draw this freehand, meaning you can get a sheet of paper and make your own box and make it larger, or you can, and you have to make all the spaces equal, so you need to draw your box first, okay? Or you can come on here and just trace your box here with all of your lines in it. You can trace those and practice like that. The only problem with that is when you get into the person, the little child, they're going to be very small. You're going to be working in a very small space, okay? Whereas if you decide to just make your own, then you can work a lot bigger, which will be a little bit easier for you. So I'll do one of these and give you an example real quick. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do if I want to draw my person bigger, okay? But I want to do a young person. I can take this one right here and I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's six of these for a 6-year-old. And they just need to be all the same size. And look, these are all the same size as well. So I'm going to try this. Let me go ahead and trace this. Okay, so I have traced this one, and it is 6 boxes. Well, why would I trace this one if I want to do the 6-year-old? Well, because it's going to be the same thing. It's just going to be bigger. Now, the only difference is now if my 6-year-old is this big and I want to put a adult female next to him, I'm not going to have enough room. So the only reason it's important to notice the size differences is if you're putting an adult person with a younger person, then you're going to have to change the size of everything, the size of your spaces, okay? But if you're just drawing that one person, you can draw these boxes as large as you want. They just all have to be equal. So I'm going to use this outline because he's the biggest one, and I'm just going to put 6 of them. Now I'm going to kind of start sketching out the stuff for the 6-year-old, okay? All right, so first we put the head on, because remember, let me get my other sheet out. Okay, you're going to be front facing. That's the first thing you put on is the head. Okay, now I went ahead and drew the little skeleton person inside here so I can kind of see how it matches up. And I've already drawn his shoulders here. Well, they should be a little bit further down. about right here. And I noticed that they're just a little bit away from his head, not much, so I kind of made sure that's as far as they went. I could put his chest thing here. Probably need to move that down a little bit because it looks like it comes about halfway. Okay, so I erased this and made it smaller. Okay, now we have his hips, which are right about under that line right here, between the 3 and the 4. Just like that. And then his kneecaps are right in the middle of 5, so I'll put his knees here. Put them a little bit close together, I think. And then his feet down here. Okay, and then we just connect them outside, or almost outside, inside. Like that. Okay, and then his arms, elbows, halfway on 3. So I could put his arms like that. We'll connect those. And his hands go almost down to the 5. So we have some hands down here. Wrist. There we go. So we have our boy here. We got both of our hands down. So now we can go ahead and draw the body over it. Okay, so I went ahead and erased all the stuff in here and kind of cleaned him up. And I went ahead and put his arm behind him. And so here is the body proportion of the of a 6-year-old. And you notice how different the body proportions are to my adult person versus my young person, okay? So you can do this however you want. Pick any of these people that you want to do here, okay? And you can use this big one to try them all out if you want to, and just to see how the proportions are different. But just, don't draw them together because then they're going to have to be different sizes. Or if you don't want to use this big one, which it's easiest to use this, you can just trace these smaller ones and put 2 people together and practice like that. Just use this one to tell where all the parts go. If you want to go and draw a little skeleton in it like we did, draw them inside of it so you can see it first. And then just use this sheet and this sheet. And you notice these are all front facing, so don't worry about drawing any sideways unless you really want to try that, okay? Because we don't have side examples over here for you. But we have already done some side examples. You just have to reduce it and make it this proportion if you want to give it a shot. So however you want to do this, I just want to make sure you have tried a person other than these large ones. We've been doing adults, okay? So I want you to at least try one of these smaller people, okay? And if you want to put a small person with an adult, you can do that too. So at least give me one small person here. And that should be good enough for this assignment. And I can't wait to see your people. Hope you're having fun with these figure drawing lessons. Hope you've been learning some stuff. And I'll see you Tuesday.